What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Red Oak Barn. Come on into our kitchen today. So today we're going to be talking about the topic of fruit preparation. We're working with fruits today, and we're going to be showing you guys how to prep your fruit and prepare your fruit for canning or for whatever it is that you're going to be doing. So as you can see, we've got our boxes up here. We've just come back from the grower, and we have these gorgeous, beautiful California peaches. I believe these are yellow peaches here. So fresh from California. And we also have a beautiful bowl of strawberries that are waiting to be prepared. So we're preparing, I will be preparing strawberries, and we're going to be preparing these peaches. So when you are preparing your fruits, of course, a big concern is about pesticides and bugs and dirt and all these things like that. So those things are concerning to people when you're going to eat your fruit. So you want to wash it before you begin to use it. So I'm going to show you guys options. You can either buy an organic fruit cleanser. I have had one before. They have them at your grocer. If you look in the produce section, you can ask your local grocer to show you where their organic fruit and vegetable wash is. They tend to keep them in those areas right where the produce is. You can ask the helper to show you where they're at. So you can use the organic ones, or you can use regular everyday household ingredients that are in your kitchen. Today, that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be using white vinegar. So this is white vinegar that I'm going to be using today to clean and prepare our fruit. So the first thing I'm going to do is use about 1 cup. And here's my 1 cup. I'm going to take 1 cup of white vinegar. Okay. And I'm going to start with my peaches first. So I've had in the background here some water that's boiling. If you want to know why that's on, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that boiling water in just a second. But let's do this first. So you want to take 1 cup of white vinegar, add that, okay, and you're going to take your about 4 to maybe 6 cups of water, and use that to give a good ratio of water to vinegar, okay? And then we use this, and we're going to use this to wash our fruit. White vinegar, now you could use apple cider vinegar. For those of you that are more into apple cider vinegar, it's fine to use it. However, typically with cleaning, white vinegar is kind of preferred because it has a slightly, it's not very much, but it has a slightly higher percentage of acidity, a little stronger, especially white vinegar. Also because it can be used in laundering things, so you don't want to necessarily use a vinegar that has brown in it on your laundry, if you kind of get where that's going to go. So I would probably just stick to using the white vinegar because you don't have to deal with stains. It has a higher acidity, and then it also cleans a wider range of items. So white vinegar is preferred. So first thing we're going to do, I'm going to grab one of our peaches here, and typically if you want to, you can twist the peach to get the stem out. This one's very stuck in here, so I may have to use my paring knife to get it out. But I'll tell you what, even better, if you take your peach and you run your knife along the equator just like this, your peach,
or as people would call it, the butt of the peach.
Yeah, just go on the butt of the peach and turn them counterclockwise to each other. It opens right up. Same trick works with avocado, so just turn them counterclockwise to each other and it'll come right off in perfect halves. Now what I'm going to do with that, at that point you can take your peach pit, and I've got my little bowl here. This bowl is going to be like our little trash bowl.
Could you do that again?
Sure.
Another peach.
Sure. Let me get this one de-pitted, and I'll show you. Because that, I'm going to do some more of these so you guys can see what I did. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to get my pit out of my peach. Here, so let me work that out. And typically, when peaches, I've heard that when peaches are really healthy, the pit really clings to the peach. So I may have to pare it out. So try to pare that out of there. So I'm going to go down the side and try to get the peach pit out. So that's what I'm trying to do here, is to work my knife and get my peach out. Let's see if we can get it to lift out from there. There we go. It's almost coming out. There we go. Definitely have to be really patient to get that out of your fruit.
So, question.
Yep.
What would be the purpose of taking the pit out? What if they want to keep it in?
Well, I mean, you can keep it in if you plan on eating the fruit whole. But if you're planning to use the item to cook, if you're going to use your peach to cook, you definitely have to remove the pit. I mean, you know, I don't know of too many people that eat peaches with pits in them, but you want to take your peach, you know, take the peach pit out. So this actually was a lot more stuck on than I thought. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go down here and make another incision on the peach and see if I can pare it out this way. This is a paring knife. Oh, this is a paring knife. It's just basically like a small, sharp knife that you can kind of handle, almost used to kind of whittle as you cut through here. To kind of whittle my way out of the fruit. This is really good for peeling. So I'm going to do my best to try to lift this out without destroying my fruit here. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in my vinegar mixture. I'll take that out. Okay, so as I'm shucking these, I will grab another one for you guys so you can kind of see that again on how to open up your peaches and kind of separate them from the pit. Here we go. Take that and put that in there. Okay, so I'm going to grab another one. Okay, and again, you just go along the butt or along the equator of the peach. Okay. And then what you do is you get your two halves and you turn them counterclockwise to each other. See that? Kissy kissy, see? So you want to do that to get your peach pit out. These are really, really fresh peaches. So the pit is pretty tough to get out. At least that first one was kind of rough to get out of there. So I'm going to try to get this out of here. And the key to it really is just trying to get this out of here without ruining my fruit too bad. I don't want to destroy it. These peaches today I'm going to be using these in a peach jam. And later in a later segment I'll show you guys how to prepare your fruits if you just want to can it whole. Okay, there is a way to do that. And it's just by creating a simple syrup, but that'll be in a later video. So I'm going to put all of our peach inside. Move this over. I'm going to get that out of there. Okay. So just go, I think we'll just go along the side here like this. So cut down the side of the pit and drop that down in there like that. To get that wash. And the good thing about doing it in vinegar, it's all natural, it's clean, and it's going to get the dirt that you would find on most fresh fruit and vegetables off. You just swish it around in there, rinse it a few times, and you should be ready for to prepare it, to cook it. Now when you have strawberries, let me show you just really quickly here. Now, strawberries that you typically want to do, most people, they want to get rid of the leaves. So what I like to do personally, I will take my paring knife and go just around in circular motion and off. See that? Just right on off, and then at that point you can cut it in half or however, fourths, halves, thirds, and so on. And you just remove it just like that. See? Just rinse that, remove that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to prepare another vinegar bath for my strawberries, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put them in the vinegar bath, swish it around to remove dirt and debris from it, and then at that point we'll drain them off, rinse them, and then your fruit is ready for the next step.
So, question.
Sure.
So you showed how to do peaches and strawberries. Is that pretty much the same process for, say, blueberries, raspberries, apricots? Pretty much they all follow the same similar procedure.
Pretty much. It's really, really simple. Like I said, you know, although you see me opening up some of my fruit around or cutting it away from the pit, it's because vinegar is a natural product. You don't have to worry about, like, oh my God, I'm getting chemicals. That's why I kind of suggested, like, maybe, you know, if you're concerned about chemicals, it might be better to go with an organic vegetable and fruit cleaner, or just grabbing an ordinary household item such as white vinegar, which is an excellent cleaner that can be used. It's been used for years, actually, for cleaning.
So I do have another question that
Sure.
they may be wondering.
Okay.
So with this, how do you know, like, what size to cut? Like, does it matter what size shape that you cut, or doesn't really matter as long as you just cut it and put it in a pot? Like, will the size that you cut affect the cooking?
You know what, that actually is a really good question, because typically smaller pieces I have found that they tend to cook faster. Bigger pieces of fruit, kind of like when you think about the concept of when you fry chicken or meat, the bigger pieces of meat tend to take a little bit longer for the heat to penetrate and get through it. And I think likewise for your fruit, when I make smaller pieces, it tends to soften up and get cooked faster as opposed to a larger piece. Also, I would say that depending on what it is that you're going to make should determine, you know, how big are you going to cut your pieces. So if you're just going to be canning peaches just for, you know, just to have canned peaches, then maybe just doing them in peach halves, or having them in, you know, having your peaches put in dice, you know, like maybe halves of halves or in quarter sizes, if you're just going to be just canning them in a syrup. Or if you plan on doing like a pie, then you want to probably dice them up into smaller chunks. So it just really depends on what you're going to be doing with the peach.
But typically,
or which your item.
For just jam and jelly, you definitely want to dice them in smallest pieces as you possibly can so they can cook faster.
Yeah, you definitely want to go smaller, you know, because they're going to cook down and they're going to soften. So since they're going to be getting soft, you definitely want to do them smaller. It speeds up the cooking process, definitely. That's what I have found. So now I'm going to continue. So now that I've shown you this, I'm going to continue this process until I finish with my peaches. Okay, and then afterwards, what I'll do, I'm going to take and here's another trick I'm going to show you also, which is why I have my boiling water. I'm going to take you on to that. So that's your vinegar bath, and that's just the cleaning step. So now let's say you have your halves, right? So you did your half, okay? You open it. Let's say you want to take the skin off your peach, right? An easy trick to get your skin off of your peaches, because a lot of people don't like the fuzz. I'm somebody that kind of doesn't like the fuzzy texture of peaches. I like the peach, but I don't like the fuzz. You can take your peach and you can drop them in hot water, just like that. And that might actually soften the peach pit. Do it like that.
So it makes it easier for the peach pit to come out.
Correct, because once the peach gets softened, then your next step is actually going to take the peach and drop them in some ice water or cold water. And what that does is it kind of shocks the peach and causes the skin, because this is going to cause it to probably expand a little bit because it absorbs the water. And then when you put it in the ice bath or the cold water, it shocks it and it makes it shrink a bit, and so the skin loosens up on it, and so you're able to just kind of basically rub the skin off. It comes off a lot easier as opposed to spending a lot of time trying to peel your peaches, which is still something that you can do, but if you want to save time, you can do like a shock bath on your peaches. And they don't need to cook for long. You just put them for a few moments in there.
And so that tip is mostly for fruit that have pits.
Right, for fruits that have pits, or for fruits that that have thin skin. See, apple skins, citrus fruits like oranges, lemons, things like that. The fruits are typically easier to peel because the skin is kind of thick. You peel away the peel, cut away the pith, which I'll identify that with you in a later video. But that's a little bit easier to peel off. An apple, a little bit easier to peel off, even though the skin is a little thinner. This, however, is very thin. So something like this, you might benefit from just dropping it in an ice bath after a short little blanch, and then it comes right off. So those are some tips, some helpful tips. I hope you find them helpful that you can use in your kitchen when you're preparing your fruits and vegetables. Please feel free to comment below if you want to know anything more about the jams for Red Oak Barn. Please go to our website at redoakbarnjams.com.